You've heard me talk about keyword research before. Today we've got Valerie Morse, good friend with me, and she has the question, how do you do keyword research for YouTube? So we're going to dive in and show you exactly how to do it the right way. All right, let's cut right to the chase, and I'll just show you my very favorite tool. I used to use a whole series of tools until this one came out.
Okay.
This is a brand new tool from SEMrush called the Keyword Magic Tool. Okay, so what would you like to rank for on YouTube? What type of topics?
So I tend to work with a lot of speakers, so maybe like LinkedIn for speakers or social media for speakers, something along those lines.
Okay, let's see what we find. Okay, now this button right here, questions. That is the magic of this tool. When you first, I already had it set, but when you first open it up, it will go to all. And I just want to point this out. The results that we see here are what we'll see in all different types of keyword research tools. The magic of this tool is this button right here, questions. Because then, and this one, LinkedIn speakers, I guess there's not a whole lot of people that are asking questions. So let's try social media.
But that's good to know that, hey, maybe this is something that a lot of people aren't asking about. Might not be good to make a video about.
Well, what I'll do, you'll get the hang of this. Let's just go a little bit more broad. We'll go to social media. So you see that there's tons of questions people are asking about social media.
Okay.
Is YouTube social media? Why social media is bad? What does streaks mean on social media? What is social media marketing? So let's go with that one.
Okay.
Let's add in marketing, and I can open this and add in the filter, so we'll put in marketing. So now all the questions will relate to social media marketing. And the more specific you can get, the better results you'll have with that title.
Okay.
Here's a couple of reasons for that. If it's really, really specific, the person searching for that will find your video and say, that's exactly what I'm searching for, and they'll watch the video all the way to the end.
Okay.
Right? Versus if you just make your video about social media marketing, but they could be searching for social media marketing for beginners or social media marketing for influencers, or so
sure.
We don't know if it applies to them or not. So let's look at some examples of I'm pointing at this one right here, how to start a social media marketing agency. It's real specific.
Yeah.
And it's actually got high search volume. I typically steer away from high search volume because that means more competition. I'm just curious if it does have a high number like this, and I consider anything over 1 or 200 like high. Anything above 10 is great. So if I copy that exact phrase, come over here to YouTube and do a search for that exact phrase, let's see. Yeah, on the very top there is a video that has that exact phrase in the title. There's another one. Okay, so that one, it's going to be too competitive, especially if you're just getting started on your YouTube channel. So that would be too competitive for me. I wouldn't even touch it yet.
Okay.
But another one, how much do social media marketers make, and so on. The more specific you can get, I'm going to scroll down, even probably go to the next page here. You can just click next, because it has hundreds and hundreds of options. You come down here, you see we're in the 40s. And if we find one that's real specific, how to start social media marketing for small business. That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to bet that there's not a single video that has that as the title. Now, I don't necessarily do this search every time like I'm doing now.
Okay.
But just to kind of illustrate.
So you want to do the search on SEMrush's tool and then potentially go over here to YouTube and see what the top video is getting?
Yeah. Here's the reality. When other YouTubers do keyword research like this, they ignore anything that has a small number. But that's an opportunity because we don't need big numbers. If a search phrase has 10 searches per month, and you create a video with that title, you post that video on YouTube, it'll rank day 1.
Okay.
And then over the next month, you only get 10 searches and 10 views to that video. Those 10 people watch the video all the way to the end. The YouTube algorithm sees that, and it will start to send more and more traffic. So you just start out where you can rank for sure.
Okay.
And then you'll get more and more traffic.
Okay.
So this specific phrase that we search for, how to start social media marketing for small business. We're looking for the exact phrase, and I'm not seeing it. Social media marketing tips. So this one's close, and it's 2 years old. It's a half hour long. Wow, that's crazy. Must have some good tips in there. I actually, if I were going to make that video, I might like skim through that video to see what are the tips, what makes this video do well, because it's kind of close, because it is related to small business.
Okay.
This is Social Media Marketing 101. But this is, this question is how to start. So where to start? This is how I started. This is how I started a social media marketing business. So that's a different topic. So I would say that's a great one. I would pick, I would star that one or check that one so you could save that. I keep track of all of these titles that I find in a Google Docs spreadsheet.
Okay.
So I can keep track of all of them. And then I'll comb through the list and pull out the ones that I like. And again, when they're below 100, I typically don't copy them into YouTube. I just now assume if it's below 100, it's a long phrase or it's really, really specific, then I know that other people are going to ignore it. And for me, that's gold.
Okay. Wow. So is there a way to tell if one keyword is more competitive than another, if you're looking on YouTube especially?
In this tool here, there is this column that it says from 0 to 1, with 1 being the most difficult to rank for. This is kind of a rank of competition.
Okay.
However, I don't give much attention to this because this isn't for YouTube. It's a whole different game, and a lot of times this scale is how difficult is it to rank for based on people buying that ad space or that keyword space.
Okay.
So on Google, you can pay to rank for keywords. When people do searches, you can pay to rank at the top. And are people really going to be paying to rank for this? And we're going after YouTube anyway, so I don't really pay much attention to it. The way that I did, where if you really think, this one might be quite competitive, I look, is there direct competitors on YouTube for that exact phrase? That's what I do.
So you want to search the exact phrase to be able to see what comes up as a result, to be able to see, am I competing with anyone specifically for that phrase?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the assessment that you make is going to be accurate. Sometimes it's not. You just got to take your best guess. I love producing high quantity. And so if I'm going after social media marketing topics, I'm going to go, you've heard my leaf analogy, my tree analogy, right? If you haven't seen my video about my tree analogy, make sure to click the little link up there and watch that video right after this one, because it's really valuable teaching you, what is the best topics to film on. But if you go leaf after leaf after leaf after leaf after leaf, eventually you dominate YouTube for the entire tree, and you never had to go after the trunk or the branches.
Wow.
So you just go leaf after leaf after leaf. And if you made a mistake and one of the leaves is actually too competitive, it's okay. You've got all these other leaves. You probably will eventually rank for that competitive leaf anyway.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure. That makes a lot of sense.
High volume kind of fills in all the gaps.
Okay. Great. So tell me a little bit about, once you've figured out which keyword you're going after, what do you do with them to make sure that your video is actually going to rank well?
Okay. So let's choose this one right here. How to start a social media marketing for small business. If I'm a small business owner and I'm just getting started with social media marketing, can you think in your mind of different tips that you might give me?
Yeah, I could probably give an hour-long presentation.
Okay. So write those down, just the bullet points. You don't need to write out the script, but just write down the bullet points. First you do this, create your profile, then you've got to do this, and then you've got to do this. And when you've got it outlined like that, in your case, you could talk for an hour. That might tell you, okay, there's probably 5 different videos that I could film on this question, so you might want to go even more specific, or do a part 1, part 2, up to 5. That makes sense?
Is it okay to do part 1, part 2 types of videos that have the same similar title with just part 1 or part 2 changed?
So I've had successes and failures with it.
Okay.
Sometimes people get irritated that it's spread out and it's too long, but one of our most successful series was a 4-part series, but we did give each video a different title, but we filmed it as okay, this is part 1 of a 4-video series, and this one we're going to cover this topic. So just be strategic on what people are going to like, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't.
Okay.
By default, if you can, with the title, narrow it down and break those 5 videos into 5 different titles, that would be my recommendation if possible.
Okay. So when you have that key phrase, Is there a way that you can be strategic with weaving that phrase into the video itself?
Gotcha. So we're going to use this exact phrase as the title of the video.
Okay.
And then in the beginning of your video, when you film the intro, you're going to say two things. One, you're going to say what the video is about. So you're going to use the title right at the beginning.
Okay.
And then you're going to give people the reason why they should watch.
Okay.
Right? So it might be, hey, how do you do keyword research? You know, the title of this video. So I started out by saying, hey, in this video, I don't remember exactly. So let me demonstrate maybe a different example of how I might have started this video. So I could have said, hey, welcome back. Would you like to know how to do keyword research for YouTube? That's the primary way that I get tons of traffic. In fact, millions of views to my channels is through keyword research. I'm going to show you exactly how I do that.
Wow.
So I stated the title, what the topic is about, and then I gave some of my credibility and explained what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to teach you exactly how I do it. That was kind of a long way of answering your question. Is the easiest way to include that phrase that we just found is to make that the title of your video and to state that right at the beginning. And because we're going so specific, naturally, as we're teaching, we're sharing our points to answer that question. We're just going to naturally say all the words that relate to that topic.
Okay.
YouTube automatically transcribes the video for us.
Okay. Wow.
So they pull all the keywords. The transcription that YouTube does is way more valuable than the keyword tag. I still use it. I'll put the title in there. I'll put a couple other keywords in there, but it doesn't really make a difference anymore.
Okay.
Because people would cheat and they'd put in keywords that didn't really relate
didn't
to
matter.
the video.
Okay.
So you just talk naturally. You don't have to keyword stuff or worry about that too much. You can, in the first line or two of your description, you can put those words or those phrases in there. You look like you're about to smile. Laugh at something. The only other comment I'll make about the description is you can polish it. You can go in there and add punctuation. You can check for spelling errors. You can capitalize sentences and whatnot.
Okay.
But YouTube does the hard part of typing it all out. You don't have to worry about that most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work, but
Wow.
yeah.
So that's actually a fun little tip to know that YouTube will do transcribing and it's all free?
Oh yeah, it's all free. It's in YouTube's best interest to know what the content of the video is. So they've been doing automatic transcriptions for a long time.
Wow, that's great. So how many titles and keywords should I be searching for when it comes to my channel ranking well on YouTube?
Okay, so I've got a question for you before I answer.
Okay.
How big do you want to be on YouTube?
I don't know. I've never thought about that.
Do you want to get millions of views? Do you want to get thousands of views?
Well, at least thousands. Millions would be great.
Okay, I'll answer both then.
Okay.
If all you really want, and realistically, thousands of views a month would be great.
Yeah.
Then all you need to do is post one video per week.
Okay.
And about a year from now, you'll be getting thousands of views.
Wow.
If you want to get millions of views, you've got to post at least 5 videos per week.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 260 episodes per year.
Okay.
So if you're going to do keyword research, we're either talking about picking 52 topics or 260 topics.
Okay.
Okay, and that seems overwhelming. You know how we do it because we film 20 episodes in a day.
It is
possible.
possible.
How many have we filmed today?
I think this is number 7 or 8.
Yeah, we filmed 20 yesterday and we're filming another 20 today, but that's giving me 8 weeks worth of episodes for this channel.
So you're going after those millions of views.
Oh yeah,
At
totally.
this rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've accomplished it on other channels and I'm wanting this channel to do the same.
Now, how far in advance do you do the keyword research before posting the video? Do these keywords, if I do this research today, could I do all 240? Is that what you said?
260.
If I did all 260 keywords and made my plan of attack, would that be relevant a few months from now?
Well, the answer is yes. So if you're looking for trending topics, let's say Donald Trump said something crazy, about some other nation, that's not going to be relevant a month from now or whatnot. But if you're answering people's questions like we're finding here, these are questions, and look right here, you can see that there are trends to different questions. According to date, this is a 12-month period here. And you could pay more attention to that than I do. I just assume, you know what? There's an average of 40 per month. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. But the thing is this video is going to be evergreen. So I don't need to post this video right at a peak. If I post it now and then it peaks a few months from now, that's great. 12 months again, it'll peak again.
Let's say you've got a specific audience that you're working with. Like I've worked with a lot of dentists or private practice owners in the past. Would it be bad to take this phrase, how to start social media marketing for small business owners in optometry? Is that okay, or does the keyword need to be exactly what I'm seeing here?
So if the only clients that you work with are optometrists, what I would recommend doing is make that known in your branding.
Okay.
So on your YouTube banner, and when the free gifts that you give away at the end of your video, you don't want to alienate everyone right at the beginning, because all you want at the beginning is views. You want your video to get traction. The more people see the video globally that aren't optometrists, the more optometrists will see the video.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So I would make your video applicable to most everyone, but yet the examples that you give, you're going to be talking about, there was this optometrist that I helped set up his profile. So it's naturally your content is going to be geared towards them. It's going to be best for them, but you don't have to necessarily weed people out. And if people say, oh, well, I'm not an optometrist, because the reality is if I watched it, I would get value even though I'm not an optometrist. So I would still get value from watching your video. Does that help?
So you wouldn't necessarily go so specific with the titles at first, and then if I find that that's really the only people I'm working with, then I can get that specific later on?
I would also do some digging, and I would come up here and I would type up, I would do searches to find what questions optometrists are asking.
Yeah.
And we're probably not going to find very many,
right.
But the ones that we do find, I would certainly make videos about those. The whole population of the world isn't going to watch that video. Optometrists
but
are
they may
going to
be
find it for
subscribed
sure.
to my channel, even if I make a video for someone specific.
Mm-hmm. If you're posting videos every single day, people aren't going to come back and watch every day when it's a how-to channel like this. And so if they see one comes up that, that one's for optometrists, I'll skip that one. Oh, this one's for, so people will pick and choose which videos they watch. The great thing about this strategy is not necessarily, it's okay that your returning subscribers don't come back every day, because new people are finding you every single day.
Okay.
We found that on most of my channels, we average between 80 and 90% of our views come from new people who've never been to the channel before, and that adds to the subscribers.
Now, where do you go to see if someone is a new subscriber versus a returning?
So we'll look at this video. This is one that we looked at in another episode, and it's got 13,000 views in the last couple of weeks. And it shows you a lot. I mean, you can look at here, likes versus dislikes. You can look at real-time activity, what's happened in the last 48 hours. I actually like this. I really like this page, Reach Viewers. You can see what the traffic source is for that view or those views. So in this case, 53% comes from browse features, and it tells you what that is. Basically, if people are searching and using the browse features on YouTube, you can see that 19% of this one comes from YouTube search. So we got this one ranked on YouTube, like I've talked about.
Okay.
Suggested videos is when YouTube actually promotes you and puts you on the side of videos. I'm actually surprised this is a low number. So I'm guessing because this is performing so well in other places, that eventually this number is going to go up, and this video is probably going to spike for us.
Okay.
I'm excited to see. I love this funnel over here. This is just some stats that you really want to pay attention to. One is click-through rate. Now on this channel, 3% is kind of an average, or maybe that's a little bit low, but above 3% is what we shoot for. So when we've got a 4.9% click-through rate, that's pretty good. It can be better. But if we design, so we'll do a split test on this thumbnail. I'm guessing that we already have, and this is the thumbnail that's now better performing. Also, we talked about before in another episode, average view duration. So it's telling you that it's telling us that out of 158,000 impressions in the last couple of weeks, 4.9% people have clicked on it, which has resulted in 7.7 views. And that's been the average view duration. So this is the total watch time. If you add all that up, 41,000 minutes of watch time. So that tells me right there again that YouTube really likes average view duration, and that this stat right here, click-through rate, is something that we can really pay attention to.
Wow. Okay,
this has been a longer episode. Obviously, there's a lot more that we could talk about. And if you have more questions about keyword research, I've created a keyword research guide. Okay, it's step-by-step how to use this tool. I give a lot more examples than we could cover in this one episode. And so if you enter information, just click the link below, I'll give you that keyword research guide for free. And of course, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.